Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video we're going to be going over the all-new Lincoln Navigator. Now we're going to go over a reserve and a black label, and so with that being said, let's just get right into it. Let's take a look at the new Navigator. So this first one's a reserve, and then later in the video we'll take a look at the black label. Really appreciative of the team at Lincoln for letting me take a closer look at that one since it was on a platform and all that fun stuff. But you guys can see the front end has changed slightly compared to the pre-refreshed version, but it's not a huge change. Like if you're not a car person, you're just going to see this and you're going to think, oh, just another Navigator, basically. But still, really good looking vehicle, has that large imposing front grille, and you can definitely tell that this is a nice luxury vehicle just from the appearance of it. You see, you still got the massive wheels here. And I've always liked the design on Lincoln's wheels. I think they do a good job in terms of kind of like melding, something that is proportionate, but then also just looks good. You guys can see the mirrors contrast the body paint on this particular one because you got the silver and then you got the chrome and then the black. So there's a lot of contrast happening with this particular vehicle. So I think that that's pretty cool, and I think it looks great once you put it all together. And then popping here to the back, this is where it looks a little bit more different, right? Especially with the taillights. But again, I feel like if someone's not looking at these cars every single day like me, they're probably not going to notice the difference there. And this is funny. So you guys are going to get a laugh out of this. I could not find the button for the life of me to get this to open. But you guys can see the new effect on the LED tail lamps. I thought that was pretty cool, like how it turns on. And then you got parking sensors there at the bottom of the bumper. And then a bezel covering the receiver hitch. And yeah, it was just a funny situation where I kept pressing and nothing happened. And I was like, are you kidding me? I think I ended up just giving up because I was like, you know what? I don't have time for this. Yep, I gave up. So anyways, you guys can see popping here to the back seat area. Really nice leather trim here at the top of the dash and then down below as well. And you can see the speakers for the sound system, really nice wood trim. Door handle hasn't changed, but it all looks really premium from an aesthetic perspective. And you definitely get the feeling that you're in a high-class luxury vehicle. Leather seats, again, really nice with the stitching. Not a lot of contrast happening, but really nice material use. And so they did a good job with that. And then actually popping in, you guys can see legroom's great, and then headroom as well. I think this was like one of the last videos I filmed, so you can see I'm pretty pretty tired looking. And then you've got the power outlets down below, and then center console here for the rear passengers, which is definitely a nice feature to have. And then I really like the wood trim on it, and then more leather there on the top. And you can see the rear seats just as nice as what you have there on the second row, and you can fit adults back there very comfortably. Full panoramic sunroof, definitely a cool feature. And then also I want to show you guys leather for the grab handle right there. Even the grab handle is nice and luxury feeling. And then popping here to the front, you can see again, really nice material use with the door panel. And then you can see all of your controls there for the seats are on the side. And it does have massaging seats, right? Expect that in a luxury car. And then you can see a quick look there at the mirror. All of our window controls down below. And also, I guess to comment on the sound system, it's a really good sound system. Clarity on it's solid. And I think Lincoln's done a good job. The seats still look just as funny as before, but they're really comfortable. And then popping in, if you guys are wondering, those side steps are power. They do deploy. And then you can see the whole steering wheel set up with the wood down below. Controls for the center stack. And then you got our cruise control, all that fun stuff. Paddle shifters there on the back of the steering wheel for the 10-speed automatic transmission. Then we have our little turn signal stalk and windshield wiper stalk. And then we do have the full digital gauge cluster. I'm not sure if this one popped on or not. Oh yeah, no key fob, so it didn't pop on. Some cars, even without the key fob, would at least let me see the display. This one didn't want to play ball. But anyways, you can see the transmission selector down below. And then you got the camera button right there. And then you've got the controls there for the radio, all that fun stuff. Sorry about the lighting also. Obviously at the auto show, it's inside of a building, so the camera didn't want to focus on everything. Wireless phone charger, you got the cup holders right there. And again, just look at the aesthetic of the wood trim. I think it looks great. And then you got your drive mode select with your auto stop, start, all that auto hold, all that stuff right there. And then notice the center console here at the front's the same as what you have in the back in terms of the setup with the two leather pieces on top of the wood. And then you got the glove box, again, really nice metallic trim. Then you can see on the dash, all of that looks really good. And then you can see stitching right there. And then, yeah, full panoramic sunroof Definitely a nice feature to have. And here's the black label. First off, the color on this thing is just gorgeous. Definitely pops. And then you can see again the LED accent light looks fantastic. And something to note about the black label is it looks better, right? You've got the logo that's illuminated, and you can just see how, like, compared to the Reserve, like, the Reserve's a really good looking vehicle, but they've just made everything kind of like pop a little bit more on the black label. Parking sensors there at the bottom, and then the wheel design's also amazing. You can see here with the spokes, just like the attention to detail on them, I think is really good. And yeah, trying to show you guys the paint color, and I think this is the same color that you can get on the new Expedition too. So yeah, funny, but I think it looks great on the Navigator, right? And you can see with the Navigator logo there on the side, again, a lot of chrome trim, and the metallic flake in the paint was great. Blind spot monitoring there for the mirrors. That was definitely a huge, definitely a huge plus thing you expect out of a luxury vehicle. And before we pop at the very back, I should mention the powertrain, twin-turbo 3.5-liter V6, 10-speed automatic transmission, and it's good for 450 horsepower, 510 pound-feet of torque. Doesn't matter what Navigator you get that transmission. I should have mentioned that earlier in the video, but you know what? It is what it is. And yeah, notice there is some, especially on the front end, there's some key differences between this and the Reserve, but for the most part, still looks like a Navigator. Now, where a lot of the money goes is the interior. So you can see the leather is a lot nicer, right, in terms of the finish. And then the speakers, you know, they look just as nice. But you can see the wood trim there. That is definitely where, you know, some of the money's going, is that wood trim looks a lot better. And then again, the seats, the fit and finish on the seats look fantastic. And I'm not saying the seats in the Reserve are bad, but these are definitely just, you know, a little bit nicer, right? And then you can see you've got the little like setup down there with all your charging ports and all that. And then still the center console. So that's unchanged. And then you can see the back seating area, just as nice. And then you do have the screens there on the back of the driver and passenger seat. And then again, leather and stitching there on the grab handle, which is hilarious. Popping to the front, you can see again with the stitching and the leather, looks really nice. All of your power adjustments for the seats there. And again, you can see we've got massaging seats, we've got the speakers for the sound system, really nice wood trim down below. And this new wood's called like open pore wood, I think is what Lincoln describes it as. And it has a different aesthetic to it in person. The camera kind of captures it, and then definitely feels different when you touch open pore wood when it's in a vehicle. And then you can see the front seats again have that kind of weird aesthetic, but trust me, they're very comfortable when you sit in them. So they look weird, but trust me, they're worth it. But you can notice a lot of the switchgear and everything. Obviously, it's the same, but basically, there's just a little bit extra that you're getting from a material standpoint, and that's, and obviously the name, and that's kind of what the black label gives you. And then you can see, like on the digital gauge cluster in the background, pretty cool. And then all of your controls on the steering wheel are really nice. Yeah, definitely a cool aesthetic how it's doing that little animation right there. So basically, if you guys are wondering if you should get a black label, basically if you want, you know, a fully loaded Navigator, because it'll come fully loaded standard, and something that, you know, is just a little bit more premium from an interior perspective, and you are going to be paying them for the name a little bit, that's what the black label gives you. Also premium headliner. And so yeah, if that's kind of what you're looking for, it's worth it. If not, the regular Navigator Reserve is the one to go for. It's a little bit more budget friendly.